guys, how you doing?
Hi guys, how you doing? How you doing?
So this is our bourbon challenge tonight, right? It's the Kentucky Cage Match. That's what we got going on.
The 12-year in the slammer.
So, so this is going to be. You've not tried any of these, right?
I have not tried any of these yet.
This one used to be one of my favorites way back in the day, but they don't make this one anymore. So this particular bottle has been sitting on my bar collecting dust until I needed it, and today was the day.
Perfect time.
So we got some fun stuff tonight. First up, we've got the Van Winkle 12 Lot B, allocated, right? Allocated item. Very hard to find. If you are lucky enough to get the draw, you're looking at, what, about $70, give or take, if you get the draw.
If you get the draw.
If you don't get the draw, or you go to some unreputable liquor store, you can pay as much as, what, $400 or more?
Yeah. Some sketchy liquor stores out there have it secondary prices, and it's
ridiculous. It's a 12-year-old bourbon. I got this bottle, and I thought, why don't we throw this up against a couple other 12-year-old bourbons, and we'll see which one we like the best. I had this bottle sitting on my bar, Elijah Craig 12-year. So this one was one of my go-to bourbons, and it's a $30 bottle, or was until Heaven Hill early last year, decided that they couldn't keep up with the demand. So they had a choice to make. They could either put lesser aged bourbons in there and take the age label off and keep it around the same price point, or they could keep the 12-year label, and it would probably end up as like the Weller.
Start spiking.
Yeah, it's the prices were going to go up. It was going to be harder to find. So Heaven Hill decided to go with the first choice and put some lesser aged bourbons in the bottle and keep it around the same price point, which is, that's awesome choice on their part, because it lets us keep this bourbon on the shelf, but it's not the same bourbon. So we got this 12-year-old bottle, and then we went out tonight and found this Jim Beam. It's their signature series, also 12-year-old. Yep. And they're doing some like kind of crafty kind of stuff. Yeah, they had a couple of different agings that they were doing, like some quarter cask stuff. And this is in that line. This is their permanent edition. It started a couple years ago, I guess. So this is also a 12-year-old bourbon. So these three are going to go head-to-head. Our director, Drew, come on and pour these for us. You've never had any of these.
Never had them.
I've never had these two.
Excited.
Just this one. This is a straight-up cage match. We're going to beat each other, and we're going to see who comes out on top, basically, right?
For me, it's going to be battle of the taste buds.
I'm pretty excited about all of this.
Which is it.
And I'm kind of curious to see how this one fares, to be honest, because a lot of times I've noticed that just because something is rare doesn't necessarily mean it's good. We'll see. We'll see which one.
There's a few reviews of it out there and it goes
either way.
Yeah, it goes either way.
So, Mike, which would you like to start with? You're going to win no matter what, right?
Yeah, that's true, because I get to drink them all. We'll start out with 2.
All right.
So,
now we did notice before we even started viewing that the color on all of these is remarkably similar. Like if Drew had poured them all out of the same bottle, maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's keeping the good stuff for himself. That's possible, right? But they are very similar in color. It's got a nice light nose. Yeah. I don't get a lot of heavy oak out of it. No. It's got a sweetness that I would expect from a bourbon.
Fruit.
Just a hint, yeah. A little dried fruit. Now these are all around the 80 proof, 82 proof, somewhere in there. It's nice and light. I get a little bit of the oak now. It's definitely set in a barrel for 12 years. It's not over the top, though. It seems pretty well balanced.
Doesn't really burn.
No. It's got a hint of spice and a little licorice on the back end, but nothing overwhelming or off-putting at all. That licorice flavor is hanging in there, though, a little bit. That's a pretty good glass, to be honest with you. Smooth and well balanced. It's got a spicy quality to it, though.
Yes, it does.
It's got a clove pepper quality now too. I think that's just on that second sip.
Okay.
All right, so that's my initial impression.
One.
All right, where are we going next?
Still gonna taste. Let it sit there.
Let it simmer. Let's go 3.
Let's go 3. What do we got here?
Colors very similar. Ooh,
It smells significantly different.
yeah. It's got a lot more fruit in the nose. Lighter nose, fruitier. Still not a whole lot of oak character. I'm kind of surprised by
I would
that.
have thought there'd be more.
Hmm.
It doesn't jump.
I like that better. That's a smoother glass. More well-rounded. It's got
Not as sweet. I don't think it's
I was
going
going to say, I thought that the finish was sweeter. It's not as sweet in the mouth, but the finish, as it's rolling down, gives a little sweeter, whereas this had like a licorice and spice kind of thing going on. This one has a sweet character to it on the back end. If I had to choose, if you told me that one of these was a 12 and one of them wasn't, I would say that this was the 12.
Yeah.
It feels more well put together. And it's good and neat. I would totally just sip this. Whereas this one, I think, almost would go better with a couple of drops of water. I think it needed a little something to kind of round it out a little bit. Last one.
Alrighty.
You ready?
Yep.
This one looks like maybe a shade darker.
Just a shade.
Not much, but just a little bit. Ooh. That smells good.
That smells very good.
That's my favorite nose so far. If the flavor lives up to the smell, we're going to be in business.
We'll
here, boys and
review the
girls.
other one. We'll.
I mean, I'm going to choke down all 3 of
we'll
these glasses.
taste them all again one more time, just to be sure.
We may have a secondary glass of a couple of these. That smells great. That's a well-rounded whiskey. It's.
I want to try 2 again.
Are you thinking that you were misled? It's possible. This is a good glass, though. I don't know which one this is, but so far this is my front runner. It's smoother, better balanced. The finish is shorter, though. It doesn't have a whole lot on the finish.
Okay.
Yeah?
I'm going to hold off for a second, and I'm going to pick this one up.
Yeah, I'm going to retry, too. It's been so long since I've had.
Definitely a lot fruitier.
So what do you think? If you had to take a guess, which one's which? And then we'll see what's up.
I will guess, with me knowing Jim Beam, that this is the Jim Beam.
2 is Jim Beam?
2 is going to be Jim Beam. That's my guess.
That was going to be my guess as well.
They're just kind of,
it's got a spicy
they have a classic taste
character that I think of when I think of Jim Beam, and I kind of get that. But it's a little different. It's more refined than I would expect from Jim Beam. But I still get that flavor.
Yeah.
I think the 3 is the Elijah Craig.
You think? Let me check that. Since really I haven't had any of these. And just because Jim Beam, I've been drinking Jim Beam for a long time, just the regular stuff, so.
And I'm going to guess that leaves the 1 as the Van Winkle 12. So if I have to put them in order, if I have to pick a winner, I'm going to go 1, 3, 2.
I like 3, I think.
Yeah? That's your go-to? 3's your winner. What's your second pick?
Man, that's tough, man.
You got to pick. You got to pick. It's a cage match.
They're
3
really,
bottles enter, 1 bottle leaves.
They're really duking it out, though, man.
I know. You just want to keep drinking. You can still keep drinking after you pick it.
I know.
I don't think there's a right or wrong on this.
No, probably not.
Most of the viewers aren't going to be able to find 2 of the 3 anyway.
If I guess 2 is the Jim Beam, which I'm not even guaranteeing that. 2 seems like a good mixed drink bourbon.
I can get behind
so
that.
that kind of pushes me towards 1 being my number 2.
Okay.
And then 2 being my number 3.
All right, so 2 is in last place all the way
1,
around.
2, 3 for me.
All right, well, let's start.
I'm thinking my guess is going to be Pappy, Craig, and Jim.
All right.
That's
you ready?
My guess.
You ready for this? Let's start with the bottle that everybody can actually go buy.
Okay.
All right. So this one is number 2. So we got that one right.
All right.
The Elijah Craig 12.
1.
So this one
2,
they don't even make anymore.
All righty.
So you could probably still find it, but it's going to be a little more challenging. That's number 1. That was my favorite. How about that? That means that your number favorite was the one you can get if you stand in a line and pray real hard. So
Pray really hard. And then lose.
pretty much. So here's the big shakedown on the cage
Alrighty.
match. The Jim Beam came in last out of the 3. And I don't think that anything was bad about it.
Yeah, it's not a bad.
It
not
was
bad at
just
all.
not quite up to the other 2. You know, it had some different
You can tell it's a Jim.
characteristics.
To me, you can tell it's a Jim Beam.
You can. It's got a more refined flavor than just grabbing
Yeah.
a bottle of Jim Beam, but it's still a Jim Beam. The Elijah Craig was my favorite, and I can see why I used to love this bottle. It's a great bottle. I'm a big fan of it. I wish you could still buy it. We may have to do a head-to-head with the new Elijah Craig and just see which one actually shakes out better. And then the Van Winkle was your choice for a number 1.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked because all the reviews that I've read, you know, it's on the fence, but I'm on that side of the fence that I thought I had a unique taste, and
it's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that glass. So there you go, guys. It was a fun cage match. We had a good time doing it. We're probably going to do a few more in the future. We've got some fun things lined up.
One of these days.
He will, I promise.
I will.
If you go back to our first review, you'll see that I was fairly awkward and we were all kind of stumbling around. It takes a minute.
That's all right, man.
So thanks for watching us.
Thank you.
Definitely hit the subscribe button. It's down there somewhere. Drew will take care of all that in post-production. But it's down there. Hit the button. Come back and watch us, Scotch for Dummies, on Thursday nights, our live show. And we release a review every Monday. Some of them are going to be Mike and I taking care of our world whiskey travels.
Is that your one?
This is my one.
There's my one.
Cheers to you,
Cheers
sir.
to you.
Thanks for
Cheers.
watching,
Thanks.
guys.